السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أهلا وسهلا. Welcome guys. Hope you guys are having a wonderful time. Let me know if the sound is working, if the visual is working as well. So you can see, so you can hear as well. So yeah, أهلا وسهلا. Welcome. This is a Ramadan live stream. I was thinking about whether I should do the live stream or not, but I thought to myself, you know what, I'll do a 1 hour live stream inshallah. So this is going to be a 1 hour live stream, and I'm going to give preference to Ramadan and Zakat questions. So priority is going to be given to Zakat and Ramadan questions, inshallah. But yeah, anyway, besides that, my name is Zakat Zaman, and I usually do a live stream on the weekends. Because of Ramadan, the live stream has moved to this time. So inshallah, we'll see what happens. So, wa alaikum assalam, al-haq, ahlan wa sahlan, ahlan wa sahlan, welcome. MB, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, ahlan wa sahlan, marhaban, welcome to the live stream, guys. So in Ramadan, I cut down on the videos that I make, so I don't make the normal daily videos that I normally make outside of Ramadan. In Ramadan, I focus on a certain series. So I have been focusing on the 40 hadith of Mullah al-Liqari, which I don't know if you guys have seen it or not, but it's very short hadith, and there's some lessons that we can learn from them. Plus, I added the nice drawings as well. Yeah, so you guys like illustrations. Wa alaikum assalam, Ustad Faisal, ahlan wa sahlan, marhaban, mashallah. Long time no see, definitely, in a very long time. Hope you're well. I hope everything is good in Germany. Going well, ahlan wa sahlan. Wa alaikum assalam, Pauline, ahlan wa sahlan, welcome. Sufyan, wa alaikum assalam, ahlan wa sahlan, Sufyan, mashallah. How's Rosa going? Good, alhamdulillah, good. It's been going well so far, alhamdulillah. Not too difficult at the moment. Weather's been quite good as well. So I just was outside doing a bit of gardening outside. So feeling a bit tired now. Shouldn't have done a bit of gardening, but that's what happens when the weather's good. And I also got the car washed as well. I didn't wash it myself. I took it to a car wash. Got it car washed, alhamdulillah. And so my day has been quite relaxing so far. So today I've got a live stream, and then I've got a talk I've got to give a little bit later on, and then break my fast, then Taraweeh inshallah. So how's Rosa going with you guys? How's your fasts? How are you finding them so far? First few days you feel a bit of pains, don't you? I get pains first few days in the knees and the joints. Apparently they're supposed to be to do with the immune system regenerating itself, so it's trying to repair the body. So no sign of Ramadan. I don't know yet. I'm going to wait for a few days, and then I'll maybe have a go at cycling, see if cycling is for me. I might do a bit of light cycling, or some of the guys, what they do is after the Taraweeh cycling in the night. That might be a good option, so you sweat less. The thing is, one thing in Ramadan is you shouldn't try to overexert yourself. Otherwise, what tends to happen is when you overexert yourself, you can't give that time to ibadah properly. So then you're going to become lazy in Taraweeh, you're going to become lazy in reading Quran and going to the mosque and all sorts of things. So, you basically try to balance out. So do a bit of light exercise, I think. I don't know, Sufyan, what kind of exercises should we be doing in Ramadan? What kind of exercises are ideal in Ramadan? What are the Muslim exercises? The Ramadan Muslim exercises. Zarif Rahman, ahlan wa sahlan, wa alaikum assalam. MashaAllah, Mullah, ahlan wa sahlan. Welcome, Mullah, as usual. Pauline, is it wrong when you get choked up when reciting wrong? The sister told me to stop crying. Yeah, it's fine to cry. Yeah, it's fine to cry. No, she was wrong in saying that to you. Sami'ullah wa alaikum assalam, ahlan wa sahlan. Remember us all in your du'as, and you remember us all in your du'as as well. Jazakumullah khair. Sami'ullah. Please, can you make dua for my grandma? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is she ill? May Allah give her shifa kamil. May Allah make things easy for her. And shifa to all the Muslims out there. So make dua for Mullah's grandma. Hassan, Assalamu alaikum. Can the Imam stretch Allahu Akbar when moving from sajda to qiyam? Yeah, he can do that. Yeah, as long as he doesn't stretch in the wrong place. So Allahu Akbar like that. So on the word Allah. So Allah, stretching on there would be permissible. I get anxiety over recitation. I cry. Yeah, that's fine. Cardio after Taraweeh is really good for you. Cardio, yeah? Okay. Yeah, so you gotta maybe find some gyms that are open or just do some at home. Assalamu alaikum assalam. Assalamu alaikum. Is the dua of a fasting person only accept after iftar time, or is the dua someone could fast? Yes, throughout. So du'as are accepted at different times in Ramadan. So du'as of the fasting person, du'as of just in Ramadan itself, right? Even if you're not fasting, those are accepted as well. Du'as in Ramadan are accepted at various times. So for various types of people, various times, du'as are accepted, definitely. We have started gym 5 days a week after Taraweeh, 3 times weight-based and 2 cardio. 60 minutes. And weekend off, not trained in a year since working from home, so feeling it. Right. That sounds a bit too extreme for me. But yeah, I think I'm gonna have to try to see what I can do. What about light bike riding? What about small little bike riding? Riding it to the masjid, riding it back. Would that count for? Wa alaikum assalam, Ra'is. Ahlan wa sahlan. Ahlan wa sahlan. Very good. Thank you very much. Get solid sleep after Fajr with tiredness. Yeah, that's the thing. After Fajr, sleep isn't really kind of satiating. Yeah, it doesn't really kind of satiate the body. You know what I'm saying? So I think that kind of like sleep after Fajr is good. But this year I've actually started to go to sleep after Taraweeh for about 2 or 3 hours. Yeah, so I kind of like, I don't know. It's good. It feels good when you wake up. You wake up in that kind of sweat. You kind of feel refreshed. Yeah, you get that kind of nice feeling. And if I kind of like stretch if I stay up after Tarawih, I can do it. But it's just kind of like tires me out. So at the moment, I'm off work at the moment. But on Monday, I'm going to have to sort my routine out. Okay, right. Shall we start with the questions then? See what you guys are saying. After Asr Jama at 6:30, I play football till iftar time. Whoa, mashallah, that's good. Yeah, I think that I used to do exercise at that time. That was a time I'd normally do exercise. So it's nice. It's a nice time because even if you get really tired, iftar is only a few minutes away, so you can have something nice to drink. Today I made some nice nabidh again, date juice. I think for general people, low impact cardio, easy bike ride. All right, I like that. Sufyan, I like your kind of fatwas. Easy bike ride or long steady walk is good for Ramadan. Yeah, okay. I will start off with that. Yeah, but at the moment it's been a bit hot. These past few, not hot but sunny. So that's like the sweat season. All right, so let's check out some questions on Curious Cat. Let's see what Curious Cat is saying. Right. Okay, so where did it start from? Okay, Salam. I'm losing motivation of going to my local mosque. It's 5 minutes from my house, even though it's considered wajib or sunnah muakkada. I don't know which one to take. I heard it's 25 times. Can I also clarify the hadith about them? Yeah, so go to the masjid. So look, the masjid, attending the masjid, if you don't have a valid reason, you should go to the masjid, right? And the scholars all agree that this is something which unanimous amongst the Sahaba about going to the masjid being something which is found in amongst all the Sahaba, right? Except for the ones that had excuses. So this is something that is part of our religion. This is going to the masjid is part of our faith. Having a masjid, having a community. So don't try to find fatwas, or don't try to find statements of scholars to try and escape from that. Don't try to justify in the wrong way. Look, if you're lazy about going to the masjid, admit that you're lazy about going to the masjid, and try your best to go to the masjid. Start off with maybe one salat a day, and then slowly build it up. Right? So it could be for various reasons why you don't want to go to the masjid, but try your best. Start from slowly. Start from one salat, two salats, and then inshallah make dua to Allah. Allah will make it easy for you. What's the limit when it comes to being disrespectful to your parents? Is saying no to them if they ask you to eat considered disrespectful? And if they ask a minor question whilst I'm praying for. So if you're praying fard salat and your parents ask a question, you don't have to respond to them. You don't have to respond to them. Yeah. Unless they are like dying of something's happening, then you have to respond, break your salat. That's a very rare case. As for saying no, you can say no to your parents. It's not considered wrong. But to say it in such a way that you disrespect them. So disrespect is different in different societies. So you look at how disrespect is seen in your society. And generally, I mean, you can tell if you're being disrespectful to someone. Yeah, you can ask someone else. So saying no would not necessarily be disrespecting them. Is respecting your elders, teachers, and scholars considered as a general etiquette, or is this part of Islam? So respect is part of Islam. Right? Respect is part of Islam. And showing respect to different types of people, it has different statuses in Islam. Right? So the status of respecting your parents, respecting the scholars. Disrespecting is considered to be sinful. Yeah. So if a person disrespect, now see, disrespect does not mean, let's say a scholar calls you and you don't respond to him. That's not disrespect. Or for example, like you see a scholar, you don't give him salam. It's not disrespect. Disrespect would be something which you feel as though you're disrespecting him in that way. Right? Spit at him, swear at him, insult him, these kind of things. Those would be considered to be disrespectful. Why do we pray Taraweeh the day before we fast? Shouldn't we do it as the same day? So, good question. So basically, the fast starts. The night starts according to the lunar calendar, the day before, right? So that's why technically the day has started from Maghrib. So that's why they do the Taraweeh beforehand. In Hanafi, why do we have to read Thana Tashahhud behind the Imam if whatever the Imam does? So it's considered to be, highly emphasized to read it. But if you don't read it, your salat will be fine. Basically, the Hanafis say, if you pray behind an Imam, all you have to basically do for your salat to be valid is just say takbir, Allahu Akbar. Number two, follow all the Imam's actions, even if you don't say anything. And at the end, when the Imam gives salam, you give salam. That's all. And your salat will be done. Everything else in between, if you miss it out, your salat is still done behind the Imam. But the other things like reading thana and reading the tasbihat in ruku and sujood, these are all considered to be either mustahab or sunnah mu'akkada. And when it comes to the Quran, the recitation of the Imam is considered sufficient for the follower. Do we have to read dua qunut behind the Imam in witr Ramadan? It's highly emphasized that you should read it. If you don't read it behind the Imam, your salat will still be valid. You won't have to do sajda sahu. Okay. Do you know any in Peshawar? Okay, this was a question I was supposed to ask. I'm not sure. Okay. Okay, next question. Right, let's check out some questions over here. Wa alaikum assalam Yasin. Ahlan wa sahlan. Ahlan wa sahlan. The best is star jumps in the room, 100 reps, 3 sets, gets the heart rate up and feels. Yeah, I agree with you. Star jumps is a good way. Okay, cricket highlights. Let's see what they're saying. Is it permissible to pay £1.75 to access 30% of your monthly? Is it permissible to pay £1.75 to access 30% of your monthly wage early? Oh, I get what you're saying. So basically, you're going to get your wage at the end of the month, but you want your wage early. So it depends what that money is for. If that money goes towards a service fee of some sort, then possibly. Yeah, but it all depends upon what that £1.75 is for. Otherwise, if it's just a general charge, then it wouldn't be allowed. Can charities use zakat money which has been donated to purchase food, medical aid, build houses for the poor people? Okay, can charity use zakat money which has been donated to purchase food, medical aid, and build houses for the poor? So basically, the rule to remember in zakat is that zakat has to be given to an individual. You have to make it them the owner, whether you make them the owner of the cash, which is ideal, what you should do, or the food, or the house. So you have to make that property or that wherever it is, the ownership of that individual. Now, to pay someone zakat, let's say I have £100,000 zakat money, and I pay builders from that zakat money to build a house. I can't do that. That's not allowed, unless I have given the zakat money to the poor, and the poor person has asked me, the recipient has asked me, "Can you please get this done?" So then it'd be fine because the money has already reached them, right? So otherwise, you wouldn't be able to. So if, for example, like donors gave me zakat money, and I went with that zakat money and I purchased food or other things like that, and I gave them, that would be permissible. So an item, you purchase an item and you give it. Now, ideally, you should give the cash, but all depends upon circumstances around the world. And if you want to give a house, then you have to either purchase a house with that zakat money, ready built, and give the money, or give the property. Or the other option is that you make an agreement with the recipient that you're going to use that money to build a house for them. Is it permissible to pray Tahiyatul Masjid after Asr? Before, I don't understand. After Asr, before Maghrib Azan. No, you can't. So you can't pray Tahiyatul Masjid. You can't pray after Asr. Between Asr and sunset, according to Hanafis, you can't pray any nafil. But before Maghrib, if the Azan of Maghrib has been given, and say you come to the Masjid and they haven't started the Salat yet, it would be permissible to pray. Wa alaikum assalam, 5 rule, ahlan wa sahlan. Sheikh, wa alaikum assalam, Sheikh. What is permissible in real estate business and what is prohibited in that? This is a very big question. And it obviously requires all the different things. I'm not too familiar with everything that happens in the retail industry. So if you could give me some scenarios, maybe I could answer it for you. But to say what is permissible in estate retail, and what is not permissible, I wouldn't be able to say, because there's too many things that actually happen in the estate retail industry. But generally, buying a property is permissible, and that's the general rule. If you're buying the property, it's permissible. If you buy an interest, it's not permissible. What is the guidelines regarding talking to non-mahram? So talking to non-mahram is permissible as long as a person is not flirting with them. So as long as it's not flirtatious talk, anything of that sort. Otherwise, if there's no need for talking to them, then the person should not talk. Yeah. Shifa wa alaikum assalam. Should we recite this dua at time of iftar or not? Allahumma laka sumtu ala rizq aftartu, as it is a da'if hadith. Yeah, it's fine. So for virtuous purposes, reading these kind of du'as, because the meaning of the dua is valid. Yeah, because the meaning. So let's say, for example, in English, I say, "Oh Allah, accept my fast." There's no hadith that says that, right? There's no hadith at all. So if I'm allowed to say that, why wouldn't I be allowed to say those kind of words? So even though it's a da'if hadith, because the wording of the dua is considered to be permissible, it doesn't contradict anything in Islam, and it's fine. Khalid, ahlan wa sahlan wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In Taraweeh, is it necessary for Imam to read the Thana almost immediately after Takbir? They start Surah Fatiha, which makes me think it's omitted. Is it necessary for the Imam? So it's considered to be Sunnah Muakkada for the Imam to recite, for anyone to recite Thana after Takbir. Right? If a person doesn't recite it, there's different types of Thana as well. So there's like short ones, there's long ones, there's very different versions. So it would be highly recommended for him to read. If he didn't read it, the salat will still be valid. Jazakallah khair, Sufyan. You're welcome, bro. Mu'eed. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan. Can we say Bismillah in the bathroom before brushing teeth or shower? As long as there's no filth in the bathroom. So normally in the bathrooms in the UK, they have a toilet, and the toilet you normally flush it, and all the waste is gone. So because the bathroom does not contain any filth, it's fine to recite it in there. The prohibition was in the olden days, where the bathrooms were basically like what they call qazis, right? Where you had like these toilets where filth, like, when you go to construction sites and they have those cubicle toilets where the filth just gathers at the bottom, and then later on in the day someone comes and takes that whatever out the box at the bottom and then chucks it away. That would be impermissible there, because that's a place of filth. Is shaking the hand of a non-mahram haram? Yes, unless the person is very old age. So if it's a very old age person, then it's permissible. But otherwise, it wouldn't be allowed. Not allowed. Okay, let's look at some curious kind of questions then. Okay, Salam, I have two very short questions. Number one, I drank some water only a minute after the adhan. Since I didn't hear it, do I need to make up the day's fast? Okay, so what time did you drink, and what time does Fajr start? Okay, so basically the first question, if a person, let's say for example, like Fajr finishes at, let's say, 4:20, Fajr finished at 4:20, and you had something to eat, right? Just 4:20, something to eat, and then you realize and you stopped. What I would say is this: look, if it's done honestly by accident, if there is a local masjid which has a slightly later time that they finish the suhoor, you could consider that to be a permissible fast. Okay. So a lot of people ask this question. I was eating something, azan was done, I carried on eating it. So what I would say is that if in your locality there is another masjid which has a few minutes later, then you can take that. Otherwise, if it's something which you do regularly, then not permissible. Then you'd have to repeat the fast again. Okay. All right. So someone asked a question about if someone recited Hamza as Ain or vice versa, does it invalidate prayer? I said no. And then asked the question that is this the same for all letters? What I would say, look, for general people who are not familiar with the Arabic language, there's more flexibility for them because the Quran is not easy to be able to pronounce. So therefore, there's permissibility for that person, I would say. So this is why these kind of different sound letters, I wouldn't really worry too much about it. As long as you tried your best in reciting it, then inshallah it'll be accepted. Okay. MP, ahla wa assalamu alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The way to peace, are you Maturidi Ashari or Athari? I don't know. I just follow Quran, and as follow whatever the Sahaba used to believe, I believe that. That's my belief. Honestly, I'm not trying to kind of, make a joke or be sarcastic in any way. Anyone asks me, I always just say to them, whatever the Sahaba used to believe, that's my belief. That's the belief I accept. Yeah. And otherwise, things like Maturidi and Ash'ari, sorry, a lot of our grandparents don't even know what that is. Uncles and aunties don't even know what that is. So this is why, delving too much and asking everyone, are you an Ash'ari or Maturidi? I don't think that's appropriate because, it's just going to cause lots and lots of fitna in the community when there's a lot of our elders who don't even know these. All they believe in, like my grandma, both of my grandmas, they just believe Allah is one and the Prophet ﷺ is the last messenger and the Day of Judgment is coming and the Quran is something we have to follow. That's the basic things that they accept. So I think when people start to try and dig and try to find, are you Ash'ari, Maturidi, then I think it creates a lot of confusion in the community. So I always just say to people, look, whatever the Sahaba used to believe, that's my belief. There's a food stall run by a Muslim, I think, with Arab sweets like baklava, etc. I don't know the ingredients or whether the pastry has alcohol in there. Is it permissible for me to eat from there? I asked. There's possibility. Yeah, it's fine, as long as you're not 100% sure or most likely sure that there's haram ingredients in there. So from a Muslim, you can take. Yeah, you don't have to ask. In fact, it actually comes in hadith as well that not asking your Muslim brother where he got his food from. So this is something that you should just take as is, unless you're absolutely sure, and there's always other options out there. And also the issue with regards to the alcohol in the pastry as well, that's also something which there'd be leniency according to Imam Hanifa, because that type of alcohol is not an alcohol that's derived from grapes and dates. It would be an alcohol that's derived from other things, and it wouldn't be an amount that would intoxicate you. Is tajweed mandatory in salat? So being able to recite the Quran in a way that's understandable is mandatory. Okay, you have to be able to do that. So if you don't know it, then you got to learn it. But all the little rules of tajweed, no. Hanafi follow Maturidi. No, that's not necessarily true. Like Abu Hanifa wasn't a Maturidi, he wasn't Ashari. Imam Abu Yusuf wasn't a Maturidi Ashari. Imam Muhammad wasn't a Maturidi Ashari. Ashari Maturidi came 150 years later. Crypto, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, ahlan wa sahlan. When imams lead salat, do they begin with subhanakallahumma silently? Yes. How come they go straight to the Fatiha? Yeah, according to Hanafis, they should start with, but Malikis say no, you don't. So the Malikis say you don't start with thana, you don't say thana, no bismillah, you just start with Allahu Akbar, alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. But Hanafis say it's recommended or it's highly emphasized to read thana beforehand. Wa alaikum assalam, Sufyan Malik, ahlan wa sahlan, ahlan wa sahlan, ahlan wa sahlan. Hope you're well. What do you miss most about Ramadan in Pakistan? What do I miss most about Ramadan in Pakistan? Loads of things. Yeah, I think possibly the environment there, atmosphere is very nice atmosphere. Everyone's like in the mode of Ramadan and listening to Quran in the buses and naats and nasheeds, and people are just so kind of like nice in Ramadan. And also then Tarawih day is very nice as well. Tarawih is excellent. Rui Afza over there tastes very nice. What else? I think the spirit of things over there. Generally, if you live in a Muslim community, Ramadan is always going to be much better. If you don't live in a Muslim community, you'll probably experience it yourself. You're not going to feel the same sense of, the what do you call it? The atmosphere, yeah, or the ambience in Ramadan. You won't get it the same. Community does make a big difference. Okay, all right. This is the last question on Curious Cat then. Was the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu mahram to all women of his time? So this is a good question. There's an ikhtilaf amongst the scholars. Many of the scholars say that the Prophet sallallahu was mahram to all the women, yeah, because the Prophet sallallahu was considered to be like the father figure, right, to the ummah. So therefore, automatically, he's considered to be like a mahram in the sense mahram, not mahram as in he can't marry them. Mahram in the sense that they don't have to do hijab in front of him and so forth. So this is the opinion of many of the scholars, and the examples are like the examples of the hadith of Haram when she was checking his hair and his sweat. But others argue no, the Prophet ﷺ was not a mahram for all women, and they argue that Haram radiallahu anha was related through breastfeeding to the Prophet ﷺ. Yeah, so she was related to the person who breastfed the Prophet ﷺ, and that's why. So yeah, there's an ikhtilaf amongst the scholars about this. Okay, Crypto. During 4 Fard Isha Salah behind an Imam, do we read Fatiha in the 3rd and 4th rakat silently? No. According to Hanafis, no. You don't say anything. So the Imam has a choice of either reading Fatiha or doing tasbih, or being silent, according to the Hanafis. This is the Fard Salah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi rahim. Can you tell me a bit about the ijazah system? Does a Hafiz of the Quran also get an ijazah and how does one get an ijazah? So ijazah system is basically a way of keeping check that the person that you've learned from is valid, right? So basically, it's just to save people from charlatans and people who claim that they have knowledge but they really don't have knowledge, right? They have corrupted knowledge, like they haven't taken from the right sources. So the ijazah system was basically in the past where whenever you learned something from someone, you got it checked by your teacher, and your teacher would say to you, I'm happy with you taking this subject from me. So then people would say, this person has gotten ijazah from his teacher in this. So this would keep a check. So people could actually trace back all the people that have studied from others to make sure this person is qualified to teach in the community. And the same goes for things like Quran as well. But Quran is a bit different because Quran is known to everyone. Like everyone knows what the Quran is. There's no difference in what Quran is. Quran was fine. So generally, anyone you learn from, you got it from someone who had ijazah anyway. So in other words, when you learn from someone, you got your Quran from someone who learned it from someone who learned it from someone, like that. That's what ijazah would be. However, if you want to get a formal ijazah, that would be even better, just to like perfect your Quran and to make sure that it's like accurate. Then it would be all you have to do is just find some expert. Then you go to your local community, you find out some expert, ask them, study by them. Does touching a non-mahram nullify the fast? No, it doesn't. Yeah, so fast is nullified if a person was to like touch a non-mahram in a sexual way, and then because of that it leads to the person having an orgasm, then that would break their fast, definitely. Otherwise it won't. My driving instructor is a Muslim lady, age 51. Would it be allowed for me to learn from her in a car as I'm only a teenager? 51, I think it's still a right age for marriage. Yeah. So women who are at the age of 51 would still have, be attractive. What I would suggest is try to get a male instructor. Yeah, get a male instructor. If there is no other instructor available, then you can opt for her, but you should first of all go for a male instructor. Siraj and Mozu say Ramadan Mubarak. Ahla wa sahlan, Ramadan Mubarak to Siraj and Mozu. Do you know of any book that discusses all types of tarkeebs, especially those done in Sharh Mi'at Amil? I don't know any book that does a whole. There is actually someone's actually done a translation of Sharh Mi'at Amil. I've got it over here somewhere, and it's done the whole tarkeeb. It's in English. Yeah, it's called Arabic Syntax: The Study of the Study of the Formation of Sentences. Yeah, Arabic Syntax is called. So someone's in translation of it. Try to find that. Well, the other option would be is go through like something like a book called. There's actually another book that I've got. It's called. Where is it? Let me check. Ya Allah. Okay, Al-Minhaj. Al-Minhaj, this is a good book by Al-Antaki, recently written book, Minhaj. And it kind of does a small little tarkeebs of sentences. So that would be a good book, Minhaj. Or otherwise, you can check my YouTube channel. On my YouTube channel, I've got loads of videos I've done on tarkeeb. Check those out. Okay. Not Ash'ari Maturidi. Yes, they're all Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. Yeah. Well, look, I'm not saying that Maturidi and Ash'ari are not Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. I'm saying they are. But what I'm saying is not everyone has to conform and label themselves as Maturidi and Ash'ari. They don't have to in doing that. I learned that Imam Abu Hanifa's creed got into Maturidi and Ash'ari madhab. No, that's not true. Also, I heard that Imam Anwar Shah proved that there is no difference between Ash'ari, Maturidi, and probably. It's just semantics, just word ikhtilaf. What about for driving tests? They allocate the examiner so you don't know whether it will be male or female. Yeah, so in that kind of situation, it would be. I would say there would be permissibility for that. Yeah, but if you're going to choose your instructor, then that in that case you choose your own gender. But if it's for a test, then it's fine, whatever they give you. Because the rules are not the same. You can have someone in the back as well. That would be fine. Uh, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan, Amina and everyone else. I was listening to a lecture, and it said the teacher in it the teacher said that we no longer need to fast the 10th and 11th of Muharram, or 9th and 10th, because the reason why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said we shouldn't apply doesn't apply any longer. Is this true? Yeah, possibly. Yeah, some of the early scholars had said that. So some of the early Hanafis had also said that the fasting of the 10th and 11th was because in Medina there was a Jewish community living there. So it was to distinguish yourself from the. So if you're living in a place where there's no Jews living there, then it would be you just fast the 10th. You can just fast the 10th. And in fact, if you go to Israel or Palestine, there the Jews do fast on the 10th of Muharram. They fast. So if you're there, then you should fast the 10th and 9th, or 10th and 11th. Ahlan wa sahlan, Abu Fariha. Assalamu alaikum. Do you believe it's okay to read Taraweeh with a Mus'haf? And why do Hanafis object when hadith of Aisha, boy's servant, states that he would lead her and read from it? So the reason is because so Hanafis say basically you can't read holding something. And the reason is because we have nothing from the senior Sahaba that ever did this. The hadith of the boy from Aisha radiallahu anha is not conclusive. It's not a conclusive hadith. So in other words, when it said he read from a Mus'haf, what did he mean he read from a Mus'haf? Did he have it open in front of him? Did he have it in his hands? Was he holding it? There's nothing like those wording in the hadith. So because of the general practice of Sahaba, we don't find major Sahaba having a Mus'haf in front of them, even though the Mus'hafs in front of them would be very big. So it wasn't like a small book that we have today, for example, like a book like this. The Mus'hafs they would have, you'd have to hold it with two hands. So this is why, they've kind of like the Hanafis have said that Sahibain have said your salat will not become nullified if you were to read from it, but it would be considered to be makruh tahrimi. And that's the whole issue. Is that the hadith is not conclusive. How comes we don't find any other Ibn Umar, Abu Hurairah, and others stating about the holding of the. If it was something which was okay to do, at least we'd find other conclusive hadith of someone saying it. Okay. The reason why Rasul. So does that mean that a lot of these desert places run by Muslims, you wouldn't need to ask about ingredients? I wouldn't have an issue eating there. I mean, it's up to you. If you feel as though, look, you want to be extra cautious, then that's fine. And if you know that these people that are running it are not careful about their halal, then you should avoid it. But if you think that it's okay, there's no sort of like clearly explicitly, you can ask them for the ingredients, because normally they have like ingredients for people who have allergies. So yeah, if it's something someone who you haven't seen them do anything bad in the community, then you can trust them. Otherwise, you don't eat there or ask them. Assalamu alaikum. How comes when talking about Jannah and Jahannam, they say the people say the gates of Jahannam and the doors of Jannah? I have no idea. I think it's just an English thing. It's not an Arabic thing. The same word is used in Arabic for both. Abu Abu Jahannam, Abu Abu Jannah. Yeah, the same words are used in Arabic. I think it's just in English when some people translate. Maybe in English the words gates have a certain connotation and doors have a different. I don't know, but it's not in Arabic. How can I pray Taraweeh alone at home? Please guide me. Yeah, so what you can do basically is read 20 rakats of salat, 20 rakats of nafal, just like you would read normal nafal. That's all you have to do. Yeah, so you pray in twos, 2 and then 2 and then 2, 10 sets of twos. And just like you pray normal nafal, you would pray. Wa alaikum assalam, Amna Ammar. You're welcome, Abu Fariha. Okay. Salam Mufti Sahab. Could a regular shower, i.e. when shampoo and soap, be a replacement for ghusl? Of course, yeah. What are the steps needed to make the ghusl valid? So the steps needed to make ghusl valid is basically you have to wash the entire body from head to toe, as long as all the body has got wet, right, and you washed your mouth and your nose, ghusl's done, right? So as long as those three things are done throughout your shower or your bath, as long as those things are done, then your ghusl's done. So you don't have to like just do these three things. As long as these three things are found inside of the shower, also sufficient. Okay. Right, next. Will it be permissible for a muqallid to choose between difference in opinion given that there is no fatwa shopping, rather seeking of the sunnah, or does the muqallid have to stick to one imam? So basically, when it comes to like a madhab, every madhab is trying to follow the sunnah. So to say that, for example, like one madhab is following sunnah and the other one is not, that's wrong, guys. Every madhab is trying to follow the sunnah. Abu Hanifa, Shafi'i, Malik, Ahmad, everyone was trying to follow sunnah. So this is why a layperson is like a layperson just doing their own research and finding medicines and saying, I think I'll take this medicine rather than this medicine. It's not really a wise option. Yeah, it's more likely the person's going to get themselves into trouble. Mufti Sahib, I don't understand one thing. Fasting is about controlling your desires, not eating and drinking. Then why do they say that anything going in from any orifice would break your fast? What has that got anything to do with? Yeah. So basically, what you've done is you've misunderstood how the fuqaha go for understand things. So basically, the objectives are not what the fiqh is based upon. So objectives is not what fiqh is based upon. So for example, like salat is supposed to bring you closer to Allah. So then, for example, let's say someone says, if I pray in a congregation, I don't feel closer to Allah. I feel more closer to Allah when I'm praying on my own. Does that now mean that the person should not pray in congregation? Or for example, like a person says that when I give my zakat, the whole point of zakat is helping the poor, and I don't want to I don't want to give my zakat because I don't feel the poor is being helped out. Right, the money I'm giving them, it's not really helping them out. So again, using objectives to try and understand how fuqaha come to a conclusion about something is the misleading sort of like thing that general public have in their minds. So the Hanafis basically say, look, the Quran says that do not eat and do not drink until the night. Yeah, atimmu siyama ila layl. Hold your fast in the night. So because the fuqaha are going to be dealing with things which are tangible things. So the tangible things basically are, what is a fast? And a fast is nothing going in your mouth, eating, drinking, or intercourse. That's what a fast is. So that's what they're going to be basing the concept of fast around, right? As for the objectives, those would be high objectives, would be something which a person should try to strive for, like taqwa. A person should try to gain taqwa in Ramadan. Someone might fast, stay away from eating, stay away from drinking, stay away from intimacy relations with their family, but still backbite, but still do all the other things, and have intimacy, at night time, and still, not really benefit from their fast. It doesn't mean they haven't fasted. They're fasted because when the fuqaha are looking at things, they're not looking at the objectives. The objectives, because it's subjective. Objectives are subjective in many cases. Right, next. Brightest star. Whenever I read Quran, I get whispers. I can't even tell. So please make balagha videos to understand the eloquence of the. I don't understand. Whenever I read Quran, I get whispers. I can't even tell. I don't understand. So are you suffering from whispers? Are you saying that you suffer from whispers? So balagha videos are going to help you? Sorry, I didn't understand that one. So my balagha, if anyone's interested in my balagha course, I've got a balagha course. You can check it out. It's on uruk.com, 2 balagha course, and I focus purely on the Quran. Yeah, balagha in the Quran. So check that out. The course is 2 courses. One's called Ilmul Ma'ani, one's called Ilmul Bayan. Right, so it's on my uruk.com, inshallah. Okay, got a question here in Curious Cat. I have a bank account in Pakistan that pays 5% profit on my account. They call it profit, but isn't it? Yes, it's riba. Yeah, they call it munafa. Yeah, but it's riba. Yes, they just call it profit, but it's really riba. Yeah, not allowed. What's the ruling on voting elections? Some is totally fine. Yeah, it's fine. In this situation, what should I do? I vote. So you can vote if you like. Up to you. No, it's not shirk. Okay, mashallah, all the questions are done. Today is only going to be up to 5 o'clock. So today is only in Ramadan. Live Q&As are only until 5 o'clock. Tomorrow, inshallah, we have Surah Rahman. Inshallah, it's going to be about the same time. So, inshallah, be up for that. Ya Allah. Ya Abu Fariha, wa alaikum assalam. Just follow-up question for the ghusl. If someone does ghusl but does no wudu in it, can they do pray salat? Yes, it's fine. So according to Hanafis, as long as your limbs have been washed, the necessary limbs in wudu, as long as they've been washed, then your wudu is fine. Yeah, your wudu is done. Even if you didn't intend to do wudu will be done. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Yeah, so today, inshallah, is another day of Ramadan, and inshallah, today I've got a talk as well at some time. Not on my YouTube channel, by the way. It's for a masjid. And then after that, iftar. Can't wait for iftar today. I just feel like drinking something. Feel quite thirsty today. My nice Nabeed drink that I made on. So I think I'm going to be having that. Maybe put some ice in there or something. Sorry for trying to make you guys imagine it. I work in an office with public toilets, which is the only place to do wudu. Can I do masa over the socks rather than washing the feet so as to not draw criticism, complaint from the Muslims? Yeah, you can do masa as long as you get yourself thick socks. So get yourself some thick socks. I'll show you some thick socks that you can get. Is there some good cheap ones you can get online? So let's just see. Yeah, you can get yourself some of these, and then in the morning, just do wudu from home, and then you can wipe over them. These are like some good socks, nice outdoor socks. You can do wudu with these. Totally permissible. Yeah, so these ones are totally good to do wudu with. The company deck shell, I use these. Yeah, I actually got them on now. So I actually wear these, from like November all the way till April. I wear these, and I just do wudu once, put them on, and then I can do masa on them for the rest of the day. Yes, these are good socks. And then you get some other ones as well, thinner ones. So yeah, you can do that, but not on normal socks. Yeah, Allah. Right, all your questions are finished. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. If someone misses one rakat of Jamaat and prays durood with the Imam, then gets up to complete the missed rakat, will the sahu be necessary? No, it won't be necessary. Ya Allah. Alright, guys, I think I'll finish it off there. So if there's no other question, actually, I'll just leave it till 5 o'clock because they promised till 5. Yeah, so I am feeling a bit thirsty now. I think it's the talking and. Abdul, wa alaikum assalam. If I set aside money for charity zakat but haven't given it yet, do I include in my cash calculation for zakat? Yes. Yeah. So you've still got to count that in your calculation for zakat. So basically, the rule is as long as you've got whatever assets you have, as long as it's not owed to anyone, then it's even if you promised it to someone, it's still yours until you give it to them. Is it true if you miss one salah, you get 80 years of hell? I don't know. Wallahu alam. I haven't heard that before. There's some narrations regarding this. If a person obviously deliberately misses their prayer, has no reason for missing it, and that is extremely sinful, disobedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a very bad thing. And we don't know what time limit Allah puts on, or what exact punishment Allah puts on these kind of things to do with disobedience. I think your American fans must still be sleeping. Yeah, American fans, where are you? You all knocked out. Yeah, all knocked out. Oh yeah, I forgot, isn't it? Because over there, yeah, it's gonna be like early morning time, isn't it? Yeah, you're right. Good observation there. Assalamu alaikum. Hey Ali, ahlan wa sahlan. Do you have to do sajda if you make a mistake in nafal salah? What kind of mistake did you make? Depends what kind of mistake you made. Are you able to advise a short form of thana? Are you able to advise a short form of thana? So thana is the short thana that we have is Subhanak Allahumma wa bihamdika wa tabarak asmuka wa ta'ala jadduka wa la ilaha ghayruk. That's the one. If you check my Quduri videos, I've actually explained it over there. So Subhanak Allahumma wa bihamdika wa tabarak asmuka wa ta'ala jadduka wa la ilaha ghayruk. That's a short thana. Oh, Americans, you guys are here, yeah? 11:53. MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Which part of America are you from? It probably depends which part of America. MashaAllah, Jazakallah khair. Sufyan, may Allah bless you. May Allah give you Jannat al-Firdaus and your family and your parents, give them high status in Jannah and forgive all their sins and grant you and your wife blessed children, pious. Ameen. North America, yeah. All right, North America. Yeah, so hey Ali, I prayed 2 rakats, but instead of sitting down for tashahud, I stood up and started reciting Fatiha. Once I realized, I sat back down. Yeah, you'd have to. Yeah. So in that case, because you delayed the sitting, you'd have to do sajda sahwi for that. Brother Anon, difference between tahajjud and witr is it always set of 2 and then ending witr? So according to the Hanafis, witr is 3 rakats. Basically, 3 rakats is called witr. And tahajjud is praying any amount of nafil. That's tahajjud is. So you can pray 2 and then pray 3 witr after that. You can pray 4, you can pray 3 witr after that. You can pray 6, you can pray 3 witr after that. Yeah, so this is how you do it basically. So this is why the narrations with regards to it are not very clear exactly what they mean when the narrations say that the Prophet ﷺ used to pray 2, because he doesn't say himself. The Sahabas observe his observations. So the Prophet ﷺ doesn't say himself his observation. So that's why the Hanafis say the witr is 3, and then you can pray any number of even rakats before that, as long as you finish before Fajr. We need some links from South America. That's it, man. South Americans, if you guys are out there, me and Sufyan want to come South America and we want to do a tour and taste street food. Actually, not at the moment with all the coronavirus in Brazil. Not at the moment. I am from Bangladesh. Ahla wa sahlan, mashallah, from Bangladesh. Rif'atul Islam. Ahla wa sahlan. Kita khabar. Balaisni. Salam alaikum assalam. Ahla wa sahlan. Mu'in. If praying witr and when completing salah, not sure if dua qunut was prayed, what to do in this scenario? So if you're praying witr and you're not sure if dua qunut's done, simple, just do sajda sahwi. That's fine. Rahim, how does a mujtahid develop his usul in fiqh? If someone follows one of the 4 imams, can that person differ in some of his usul? So basically, if you want to master the usul fiqh, what you have to study the major books of usul fiqh, master them. When I say master them, not just study them, you need to understand them inside out thoroughly. Once you reach that level and you differ on some usul, then it's understandable. You can differ on usul with other imams, but first of all, you need to study usul fiqh. I don't know, have you studied usul fiqh? If you want to study usul fiqh, I've got a series on usul fiqh on my uruk.com website. It's called the Usul Fiqh. It's 28 lessons, and in there I explain with illustrations Hanafi Usul Fiqh how it works. That's the beginners level, and then I've got a second course which is Usul Shashi. You know Bangla? I know some Bangla. Yeah. Ami Bangla Zaini. Ami Bangla Zaini. Salam Sheikh. Praying behind Shafi Imam for witr, where should we put our hands when they make dua after ruku? You can put your hands on your sides and you can raise your hands as well. It'll be totally permissible. Ya Allah. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Questions are done. Right. So, anyway, guys, I think I'm going to finish it there. Jazakumullah khair. So this is gonna happen next week as well, same time, 4 o'clock in the late afternoon, and it's only going to be for 1 hour. So I'm going to try to prioritize Ramadan questions and Zakat questions, right, before anyone starts asking the random usual, the usual types of questions that people are asking. And hopefully, inshallah, tomorrow, inshallah, is going to be Surah Rahman. If you guys have not hit the like button, I suggest you hit the like button. Yeah, hit the like button, inshallah. So we've been doing Surah Rahman outside of Ramadan, and we'll be continuing it. So what I'll do is I'll put a link over here for those of you guys who are not familiar with. Please answer my zakat question. I did answer your sister. I answered your question above. Try watching the recording, inshallah. And I did answer it. So check the recording. And the basic answer to it was that I said was that you have to include it in your calculation. Anyway, guys, Jazakumullah khair. I will see you guys next week or tomorrow for that case. And also check out my other series, the 40 Hadith of Imam Mullah al-Qari. 40 Hadith of Mullah al-Qari. I've been doing it every day in Ramadan, inshallah. I'm trying to complete it, the whole series. So it's going to go after Ramadan as well. But inshallah, and let me know, give me some feedback as well on the course, on the series, what you guys think of it as well, inshallah. And hit the like button. Make sure everyone hits the like button. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.